Hi there. I wanted to pop on and have a quick chat about the budget. Bit of a dramatic start to the day with the report getting released before the Chancellor actually gave her speech, but hopefully it's all calmed down a little bit now. But I wanted to have a talk about it and what it really means for us as cleaning business owners. To be honest, there wasn't a huge amount of great news in there for small businesses, but there wasn't anything particularly dramatic that we weren't expecting either. For most of us, the main effects will be extra tax on dividends if you've got a limited company, and if you're not a limited company, a continued freeze on personal tax allowance means that actually you'll be paying more tax. But the biggest news for us as business owners is the minimum wage rise in April. We already knew about this, and also the increased amount of the real living wage that was announced in October. So on the surface, the headlines sound quite simple, and I've held off talking about these even though we were aware that these were coming, because I wanted to see if there was anything else, because obviously last April, we had an increase in employers' national insurance. So I wanted to just make sure there wasn't anything additional we didn't already know about before sending out this video. So the headlines are fairly simple when it comes to wage increases. There's a 50p increase in the national minimum wage and an 85p an hour increase in the real living wage. There's more in London. So just so you're aware, it is more in London, but for the most of the country, those are the headlines. Now, most people hear that and think, well, it's only 50p or 85p an hour. But when you add travel time, employers' national insurance contributions, holiday pay, and pension contributions for employers, the reality can be a little bit different. So I've worked out that for your cleaning business, that 50p on the national minimum wage is actually going to cost you 74p per hour. And if you pay the real living wage, that 85p is actually going to cost you £1.20 per hour. Now, most cleaners are part-time, so if you've got a team member working around 16 hours a week, those extra pennies per hour, well, it could actually quite quickly turn into hundreds of pounds a year. And that's before we even talk about inflation. And inflation is predicted to be 3.5% next year. So just to keep your prices in line with inflation, not to increase your profit, just to stand still, you'll also need to add roughly 70p an hour if you charge £20 an hour, 88p an hour if you charge £25 an hour, and £1.05 an hour if you charge £30 an hour. So any realistic price rise now has to cover both the wage increase, either 74p or £1.20 an hour, and the inflation index increase on your hourly rate. So potentially at least £1.50 an hour increase, potentially up to £2.25 an hour increase, depending on how much you're charging and depending on how much you pay your team. If you don't increase by those amounts, you're effectively giving yourself a pay cut. And in some cases, you could be running jobs at a loss without realizing it. Now, I know this can all sound pretty scary, and honestly, it is really serious. You know, a minimum £1.50 increase per hour just to stay still, and up to a £2.25 an hour increase just to stay still and not actually make any more profit. It is pretty serious, but you don't have to figure this out on your own. At the DCBN, we've already today added a new payroll cost calculator into our member document, so our members can plug in their team hours and pay rates and see instantly what the higher pay rates will do to your payroll costs. And I've actually added in the real living wage for London in there as well, so you've got all the information that you need already there. It's already in member documents. I've added it today, so you'll know exactly how much extra you're having to pay out in wages. And on top of that, of course, we offer weekly one-to-one mentoring calls, weekly group masterminds, as well as our regular masterclasses for our members. These member benefits mean that we can work out with our members individually or as a group exactly what these changes will mean for their businesses, help them review their pricing so they're not undercharging, plan and script price increase conversations with clients, use our training and support to build a business that is profitable and sustainable, not just busy. At the DCBN, we absolutely support fair legal pay and professional standards in our industry. But fair pay only works if the businesses paying those wages can survive and grow. So if you're looking at these numbers and feeling overwhelmed, please don't bury your head in the sand. have a look at DCBN membership as something to really help you as you grow your business. If you're already a member, all you have to do is log into the member area and you've got instant access to the new payroll cost calculator. You can book a weekly one-to-one mentoring call with myself or Louise. You can join one of our weekly group masterminds. And of course, you've got the DCBN community as well. Use all the support that's there for you. The DCBN is here to help us build sustainable, profitable cleaning businesses, no matter what the government throw at us.